Hey there, it's David H. Lawrence the 17th, and my response to Voices.com generated a whole bunch of comments from you guys. And one of them was about, why are you judging Voices.com for their business practices? I mean, you want people to judge you? Sure, I do. I want people to judge me. I'd like them to judge me well. Um, Awful lot of comments from people saying, yeah, I completely get it. I understand. I did the same thing. No, thank you. And a couple that said, what should we expect from pay to play sites, from casting sites? And the way I look at it, absolutely, a casting site needs to have income so they can maintain the platform, right? They need to, when you say somebody charges $300, $400, $500 a year to be a member of the platform, that helps them have a support team and have an actual site and maintain that site and so on. But the goal is not just to stay in business. The goal is to have a business that people respect, a business that is fair. And in particular, when it comes to matching voice buyers or voice seekers on Voice 123 with the talent that can help make those voice dreams come true, you want there to be a fair market. And a fair market is best exemplified by the real estate market, where a transaction doesn't occur until the buyer and the seller meet at some sort of price that both of them can live with. Or on the stock exchange, where somebody sells a stock to somebody who's willing to buy it at a particular price. And kind of what goes around that is the information that both sides to the transaction have available to them. Now, you've seen people get into real big trouble for using insider information, because that means that the buyer, if they have inside information, they can manipulate that and get a better price. Or the seller, if they have inside information, they can manipulate that and get a better price for them. So the transaction that occurs in a fair market is when both sides have reasonable access to all the information they need to make the decision as to whether or not they want to engage in that transaction. When one side has an advantage, that's not a fair market. And when the actual market itself steps in and tilts the balance in favor of one or the other, or away from one or the other, that's an unfair market. And that's what I see with Voices.com, because you, as the seller of voice services, don't know if the project is managed and don't know what the original amount of money is that the buyer came to the table with. They might have been willing to pay you $1,000, but once Voices.com steps in, all that's available is $200 or $400 or $600, whatever it is. And then there's the other thing that came up again and again in the comments, and that is, well, my agent only charges 10%. My manager only charges 10%. And by law in California and New York, and I think in other places around the world that are production centers, 10% for an agent is actually the law. They can't charge more than that. Now, is Voices.com, when they manage a project, doing more than an agent is? Actually not. There are people that would argue they do. Oh, they listen to all these auditions and they do all this stuff. Well, agents submit you for hundreds of projects before you get asked to even audition for one of them. Usually, on average, it's 200 projects for every project that you audition for, and even less for the ones that you book. With managed projects with Voices.com, there's no question they're going to make money. There's no question, will they be called in for an audition? They're actually managing from the producer's side, not from the talent side. So they kind of leave the seller, you, the talent, without the information that you need to determine whether or not you even want to play in their marketplace. And that's why a lot of people choose the nuclear method or the nuclear option, which is to leave the marketplace. Or, in my case, never even enter the marketplace. The other video that I talked about was them wanting me to be part of their coaches program, and I just choose not to work in their marketplace. And the final thing I want to talk to you about is the comments that a few people made. Why weren't you more vociferous about your, telling them, handing them their ass and telling them, there's no way that I would work for you. You guys suck. And all that. For me, it was, number one, it wasn't necessary. And number two, things could change. It's possible, not likely, but it's possible that Voices.com will decide, you know what, we're getting so much blowback on all these different angles from all this stuff. Maybe we should take a second look at how we're doing things, and they'll change. I don't know. As it is right now, though, I don't want to be in their marketplace. And the vast preponderance of commenters on that other video said the same thing. But for me, it's also any market that is unfair to one side or the other is a market that I would be suspect for. If the seller of a house knew that the house was riddled with termites, or the buyer of the house knew that the city was about to appropriate that property, like they had inside information, both sides would be able to use that to their advantage. And I say, in this particular case, no one should be at a disadvantage. And I just really feel that the sellers in this case, the people that are selling their voice services, you possibly could be at a disadvantage. And so that's why I don't want that to be something that people don't go unnoticed. What are your thoughts? What do you think about this? There are a couple of people that say, how dare you judge? Who do you think you are? Well, I think I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I am able to make decisions based on how I judge things. And I'm going to continue to do that, and hopefully it will benefit the people that watch these videos. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. If you want to be notified of the latest videos, go ahead and click on my head there. That's how to subscribe, or click on a subscribe button. If you want to see the latest one that I've done, go ahead and click on that frame. That frame will take you right there, and YouTube will play it for you. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.